Want some herbs, Kiki? I talk a lot about using herbs to improve your chicken's health and to keep your chickens calm in their nesting boxes, because my chickens are bougie. This year I decided to plant my own herbs for my chickens, so I'm going to show you what I did. Hey guys, welcome to Chickenlandia. I am a backyard chicken educator here in the Pacific Northwest, but you can call me the president of Chickenlandia. I was so happy last week because I finally did some gardening. I haven't done any real gardening in I think 7 years. But this year I was told by my doctor to get out and do some gardening. The first thing I did is plant some awesome perennial herbs. These are all great herbs for chickens. And then you know what happened? The gremlin of Chickenlandia dug up my whole garden. I'm telling you, I was so upset. Of course, she didn't get in trouble. I didn't yell at her because she doesn't know any better. She's just a dog. So I'm gonna get some fencing and make it to where she can't get to it, but I wanna show you what I planted. The first thing I planted was yarrow. This is such a beautiful plant. I actually got a hybrid, but you will want to get common yarrow. That has the most medicinal value. This next one is rosemary. It smells so good and it's great to dry and sprinkle around the coop. It'll help to repel insects and it's also really good for their respiratory health. And here we have echinacea, which we know is so good for their general immunity and definitely for their respiratory systems, especially the flowers. Of course, it would not be an herb garden without lavender. Lavender is such a great calming herb for them. I think I'm going to dry some of this and put it in their nesting boxes and their dust baths and sprinkle it around the coop. Here we have bee balm, which is of course very good for bees, but it's also really good for chickens' respiratory health and their digestive health. You can feed it fresh or dry, or you can sprinkle it around the coop because it's calming for them too. Thyme is an aromatic herb that is a good insect repellent. You can sprinkle it around the coop, you can put it in their nest boxes. It's also wonderful for them, fresh or dried, as a general immune booster and for their respiratory health. Marjoram is said to possibly be a laying stimulant for them, and it also has antibacterial properties. Oregano is said to have antiviral, antibacterial, antiparasitic, and antifungal properties. All of these herbs can be sprinkled around the coop, they can be put in their nesting boxes, or you can feed them fresh or dried. So that was a ton of fun. Today I have these aromatic herbs that I'm going to plant. So I'm just going to get started on this right now. Of course, I planted mint, which smells great and is calming for them. I'm going to put this in their nesting boxes and in their dust baths. It's a good bug repellent and it's supposed to also help repel rodents. Lemon verbena is another wonderful aromatic herb that also helps to repel insects. This is another one that you're going to want to sprinkle around the coop and put in their nesting boxes. This next one is parsley, and I actually moved this to a different container later because I found out that the mint and the lemon verbena would take it over. Parsley is just so full of vitamins and has a ton of benefits for chickens, including their digestive health. It's going to be a good snack for them for sure. Chamomile is probably my favorite herb of all time. I just love the way it smells. It's instantly calming, so obviously this is a good one for nesting boxes. It's also a great insect repellent and has other medicinal qualities as well. Several years ago, my husband and I actually owned a farm store. It was in Linden, Washington, and it was so beautiful. It had a great spirit about it. And when I had that farm store, I was very new to homesteading, so I was super excited about it. I hadn't even had chickens for that long. It was quite an experience. The store actually did not make it. It went out of business. We had left before it went out of business. but it was a huge loss. And I think when I lost that, I don't know, I stopped homesteading. I stopped being excited about gardening. I kept, of course, having chickens and taking care of chickens. And by that time I was already teaching about chickens. But the whole homesteading thing, I just went off of it because it was such a painful experience. Well, this year, we are just having a crazy experience as human beings. I was getting really, really stressed out, and my doctor was like, you need to spend some time outside, and you need to spend some time in the garden and spend more time with your chickens, but definitely plant some things. And I've actually realized how much I have missed it. I'm kind of just discovering all of that again. And it really goes to show how even right now, with all the chaos that's going on in the world and in our own individual worlds, we can still find new beginnings, or maybe we can find something that we let go that we can start doing again. And that thing can bring us joy again. And that is really what has happened to me. I have felt so much joy being in the garden, planting food, planting herbs for the chickens. And so even though this time has been hard, it's been good too. Dill is yet another herb that is good for their respiratory health. It's good for their digestive health. It's calming for them. And just like all the other herbs, it can be dried. It can be hung up in the coop. You can sprinkle it into their feed, or you can just give it to them fresh. I do lean very natural. I'm not completely against traditional medicine, and I think there's a place for it. But I think when you use herbs and a good diet and some good supplements, you can avoid overuse of antibiotics and overuse of anti-parasitic medications, and that's a good thing. Now, if you are in the city, there's a lot of nutrients that chickens will sometimes miss out on, and if that's the case for you, I want you to click this playlist right here. It's all about how to keep your chickens happy and healthy in the city, and as always, it's 100% friendly. Backyard chicken, education, and entertainment. I know you're gonna love it.